Hello everyone, I'm back with a 1964 solid tub Speed Queen with the lint filter attachment. 7 pairs of large pants, or 7 pairs of work pants. Run hot, and then I will do cold for the wash temp, for the rinse temp. This machine is from '64. It's got the beautiful light up panel, as all older machines should have. I'll set the camera down for a second. There's still a light on over there, so it looks like all lit up at night, or with no light. This machine came from a collector in the deep south. It spent its years in New Orleans, and I believe it started out its life up in the upper Midwest, and eventually went to New Orleans. I bought it last December, and it needed. I didn't test it. It ended up going into storage at my dad's for about 11 months or so, and I finally picked it up about 2 weeks ago now. So I picked it up 2 weeks ago. The pump was frozen, motor was kind of seized. With the help of a friend of mine, he suggested pour a little zoom spout on the shaft, got the motor spinning freely. The pump was completely locked up. I couldn't get the pump unstuck, so I had to take a new old stock pump that I found off of eBay and put one in it. And then this machine looks like it's had newer belts on it, and then the fluid drive is in decent shape. There's a teeny bit of rust on the bottom, but nothing that's so bad that it can't be resolved. Overall, it's in pretty good shape. The front panel, I've got it's like a pin that goes through here. It's kind of weird. I gotta find a pin. I gotta take the pin out, find a replacement, and then do the same thing with this side. But this is all painted, and then the whole top is porcelain coated. And then, of course, it's got the multi-cycle. You've got hot, warm, and cold for your wash, and then warm and cold for your rinse, as it should be. And I'll throw in this nasty ass towel for good measure. Brisk is your normal cycle, and gentle is your small one. That might be what we need, I'm not sure. This machine has only seen 2 loads. This is the second load it's done so far. I did 1 load in it yesterday that wasn't really a load. It was kind of one of those things where I water tested it, had to go to Napa and get a new drain hose and a few other and a couple of clamps, hooked up the pump properly, and then took it out and got it rigged up here in the basement, brought it over here, ran water through it. It got all over the floor on Monday night. I let it sit overnight, and what are you doing? There it goes. That lint filter is kind of weird. There it goes. Kind of fell off the agitator. Now, a reminder that it is 7 pairs of work pants. Now, the weird thing is, this machine has a lint filter, and then It's got a porcelain tub. I think the higher end models have the stainless. And then it's got a plastic agitator. So that's what it looks like. The pump and motor run at all times during this machine, which is good and bad. I mean, the pump's always running. It makes that weird siphoning noise. They're really loud. Some of the older Speed Queens like this one are kind of loud. And I think the belts, since they haven't been used in so long, they're just kind of out there. The pump is driven by a big V-belt, and then the pump has a motor coupling like this, this big, and it's got two pulleys. It's kind of like a dual pulley piece, and one runs the transmission, and then the other one runs continuously off the pump. So whenever the motor's running, that's what it does. And then this machine is a fluid drive machine, so it has a fluid drive that's connected to the motor, and when the solenoid clicks and bangs, it throws it into spin. So this machine is definitely different compared to Frigidaire or even the Norge. It'll be a fun machine. I'm excited to do some laundry with it. We're running 7 pairs of work pants and then about a full scoop of Tide detergent for the work pants. See how it does. It's rolling them over though. I probably could have went with a smaller load. But for right now, I'm just gonna do everything as do everything. Man, this thing keeps getting jammed off of there. It's probably because of the pants. You know what? We'll do that. We'll deal with that later. Kind of like the Norge, it likes to thrash. These machines have 210 degree Arcucrate transmission that, it's 210 degrees rotation. It's doing okay with roll. It's not really rolling it over. It's just kind of thrashing everything around in there. I'll do a video with this next time I run this machine. I'm going to do it for a minute here. All of your cycle options, your time is built in. Just whatever you select is what you select. I'm not sure how many minutes it is. I'm not going to even BS. Extra fill, I believe, is for low water fill scenarios. Large, medium, and small. And then you got your spin, your rinse, and then your spin. This machine overflow rinses because it is a solid tub. Speed Queen was one of the last in the game to make a solid tub machine, and they changed the design from the solenoid design to a different design. I believe Eugene from Lorraine Furniture has that later machine, and they're equally as good as this one is. Though I prefer the lighted panel in the early 60s look, especially with the tri-colored panel. It's kind of funny, that's like a Frigidaire. The cap, ring. That's kind of funny, I just noticed that. Yeah, you have a short cycle, and then of course you have a 2-speed transmission that's available. They are fun machines. They are not fun to work on. You gotta remove this whole front panel. There's 4 bolts, and then like I said, these two come out. I had to put the pump in, and that was not fun, wrestling it in there and then getting it over the belts. But it's not a bad machine. It's actually it's a fairly good, reliable design. It's just so different compared to other machines, especially with that fluid drive mechanism and how it converts the torque from the motor to make this, to make it spin. And it uses solenoids to switch from each mode. And we're just over the 10-minute mark, and I think we're about 6 minutes into washing, maybe 7 minutes into washing. I would assume it's about a 10-minute wash. And it's starting to roll them over now that the clothes are starting to get worked around in there. This thing's splashy as hell when you don't have anything in that tub. It gets water everywhere. I wouldn't want to use it with barely anything in it, because it's still getting water and still throwing water at me every so often. But I just love that design of that thing. And it's got this like it's actually a rubber that goes around the entire tub. So yeah, like I said, this machine was at my dad's, and then it came here, and I've had it for just over almost 2 weeks this weekend, and now it's washing clothes. I wanted to get some videos of the process, but it's just I don't have a tripod or anything set up, and generally right now I'm using my phone as a flashlight to get underneath. It's not fun crawling around on the floor trying to fix this thing. But it's one of those things. It's another machine to go into service, and I'm hoping to I want to do some videos of this machine. This is going to be the next star of my video series, and then I've got another special Frigidaire that's going to go into the video series as well, and that's one that you guys have not seen yet. That is almost done, and we'll be starring in videos before Thanksgiving. Hopefully this weekend I'm going to have it finished, and I'm going to pull the 55 out of service and put it here in the basement and use it every so often here in the basement. Yeah, you can just see how thrashy that is. I mean, that shit's just, even though it's not really rolling it over to an extent, it's still just thrashing the absolute shit out of those clothes. Kind of like a Norge. This thing reminds me of a Norge a bit. And there goes your overflow, so rollover will probably get a bit better. I'm sure. Yeah, it's warm. Hold on, I gotta go turn on my cold water. I apologize. I thought I turned everything on. Evidently not. So, we're rinsing with hot water now. I don't think that's going to work too well. And for this one, you pull the timer knob out to start it. And there it goes. Now it goes into spin. Cross our fingers. It runs okay. I must have skipped over it a bit. Now we got to rinse temperature on properly. It's funny because that pump, like the Speed Queen pump, that little pump is pretty darn powerful. And this thing actually, it moves, but it doesn't dry that well. It's kind of funny. Yep, that's at full spin right now. It's been at full spin here for a few seconds, about 40 seconds. And that thing is, it looks like it's moving. It looks upper 500s for the spin speed. It's not an exorbitantly loud machine. It's not as bad as other machines I've seen and heard over the years. Solenoid engages. I believe this machine, I think it has pretty sure it has a brake, but it takes it a while to get down spin, so the brake either might be worn out or just doesn't have a good one, or they just weren't known for their braking ability. I noticed that when I tested it, it took a while for the spin to finally slow down, and it's doing okay. It's doing better with a load of clothes than it did without. Tub spins counterclockwise. That's kind of funny. It's kind of like it's an orange. Let's see how much difference there is with water. It takes a while. Brake might be shot. There it goes. It takes a while. But notice the motor's still running. So the pump's still running, the motor's still running. It disengaged the spin solenoid for the fluid drive, and now once the timer energizes the section to start overflow washing, then it will energize the transmission solenoid, and you can hear it ping, doing loud clanking. That's the solenoids engaging and disengaging. These machines are pretty loud for those big banging solenoids, and they're huge. They're like that big. And these, surprisingly, this ones are in pretty good shape. Might have to rebuild that water valve. It might be a little gummed up. Seems to be holding pretty well though. There it goes. You hear that chunk? Now it's going to start rolling them over. Getting them away from the edges. That's where we are on the rinse. So it'll probably do about 3 minutes of rinsing, I think. 2 or 3 minutes of rinsing. And some overflow rinsing. Just like all solid clubs do. It stops. I think it starts back up again. I'm not sure though. Interesting. So it cuts it off, and it's going to cut it back on for the next like minute and a half of the timer increment. So it overflows it technically twice in the rinse. The Frigidairs do the static overflow, Norge does, and this one does too. That was kind of a thing back in the mid-60s, early 60s was the static overflow. And that pump's starting to get some of that, more of that water right now. Should be the next increment of the timer. As you can see, yep. Overall, pretty interesting how they decided to come up with a design. And you see how it counterclockwise spins. You hear that pump getting all that water. That's going to do its thing. Right in that first first increment of the spin. And it's 45 seconds to get her up full throttle, maybe a minute from the time it starts throwing water. decent long spin. See how dry or damp they come out. It looks like it's going fast, but for some odd reason, it's not the greatest with yeah, it just shuts off. It's not the greatest with extracting water. Let's check this towel. It was filthy when I put it in there. Still dirty, but not too bad. See, look at that. That's crazy. And that's grease. That's gonna be difficult to get out, but that's not too bad. Of course, these pants, they're not that hard. They're actually pretty easy, but everything came out nice and clean, and it doesn't smell or reek of Tide. So another fun machine. I can't wait to show more cycles with it, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video. I'll be back for more, and I'm hoping to get another one up hopefully by this weekend. Thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe.